What is going on, everybody? My name is Conor and Lorraine. Welcome back to the week of the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the week's movie news, entertainment news, and just generally having a bit of a chit chat about everything to do with film. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun. Shaun, what happens about halfway through the episode though?
Halfway through we usually talk about weird news, Conor, after a fantastic jingle, of course.
I forgot that in the intro, so I threw it to you, cleverly making it seem like I knew what I was doing.
It's absolutely
just
fine.
Professionalism is my middle name.
Conor, you're out of practice. You had a busy weekend, you know?
Busy weekend. So we are pre-recording this because actually me and Shaun are going to London together this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we are recording this on the Thursday. So if a big piece of movie news drops over the weekend, we're really sorry, but we don't give a shit.
No, honestly, we're doing bigger and better things, folks. Quite honestly.
We're hanging out.
As
right?
friends. Actually, this is going to be scheduled to go live, and it should go live about the time that our plane lands back home.
That we actually arrive home as the publishers is kind of going to be like a heroic moment.
Yeah. We're going to play it to everyone else on the plane out loud.
Just waving. We're
going to put it over air traffic control.
Us getting off Ryanair waving. Some lad in Dublin goes, fuck off.
You fucking dicks.
Look at these pricks. So about halfway through the show, we will go to all the week's weird news. We cover all the strangest news stories from around the world. There is a timestamp down below if you want to go straight to that. But if you're here for movie news as well, you can stick around even for the first half as well. It's all a bit of crack.
Yeah, we have fun here.
If it's your first episode, you don't have to do anything. Just chill out. Second and above, would appreciate 5 stars, a like, a follow, a share. The 5 stars still going up. They went up again this week, Shaun, so it's nice seeing that creeping up on Spotify.
It is. Makes my parents proud of me.
And people just making nice comments as well. Always love to see that. People on Twitter and making comments underneath on Spotify or on iTunes or whatever. It's just really great. So yeah, thanks everyone for their support. We have a Patreon where we do movie reviews every single month, and we just go back and look at all old movies that are nominated by the patrons, and then we just kind of have a little discussion about them.
Could be good, could be bad, but either way, we have a fun time talking about him, generally.
What was last month's movie, Shaun?
Last month's movie was Tom Cruise's The Mummy 2017. One of the worst things we've ever watched, but we had a fun time with it.
I also wanted to give a shout out to one of our new patrons, Hunter, who sent us a very, very kind message on Instagram. We just wanted to say, Hunter, you're a bit of a legend. So that's
one of the best.
That's it.
Definitely better than us as a person.
He says he listens to us in work, like on his night shifts, and I'm like, you should probably just, this seems like something that would, I don't know, it would put me on edge.
I'd be tense, quite honestly.
If anyone listened to last week's episode, by the way, Shaun went fully insane in weird news. So if you missed last week's weird news, about halfway through, Shaun goes completely off the deep end and starts telling me humans have numbers.
A bunch of people messaged me after that and told me that I'm an interesting person.
It's like, they're like, yeah, he has qualities.
Yeah.
That are, there's a lot of qualities there.
There's a lot of definitely diagnosable stuff going on there.
If we were to say so, he does have empathy for concepts, and that's all we're going to leave it at that.
Still haven't updated my Twitter.
So Shaun, we got to get into some movie news this week. Please don't. I want to get into some movie news this week, Shaun, and we got to start off with the big news from a few weeks ago. We have a bit more context. So I feel like for the last few weeks it's been very Marvel and Disney heavy, because of all the fallout and everything from D23 and Comic-Con and all that
their
stuff.
shareholder meeting is definitely coming up, so this is why they're announcing 100% all the stuff.
They're releasing that news, getting a bit more extra money. Bob Iger's shitting himself. You know how it is. But Robert Downey Jr. has broken his silence on how Kevin Feige cast him as the MCU's Doctor Doom.
Briefcase full of money, presumably.
I read the headline and I was like, it's got to be 2 briefcases.
Yeah.
It can't just be one.
Double-handed briefcases.
So like, he had to come out and he did an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, and he spoke about his cast and his Doom, and he went into a bit more detail. So And it's kind of just like him and Kevin Feige kept in touch, and they're kind of hanging out, and they're kind of having a chat on WhatsApp or whatever. And then during the chat, they discussed the fact that Robert Downey Jr. could return to the franchise on screen in a way other than going back as Iron Man. And him and his wife sat down with him at one point, and it just kept occurring to me that if you were to come back, and then his wife Susan is like, wait, come back as what? And then we both realise over time it was not coming back as Iron Man, Tony Stark. You get to come back as Doctor Doom, so you don't ruin the legacy, Sean. Locked
except in. Except you do ruin the legacy. Okay. It's weirder that it was pitched to him and he accepted. You know, like that's a weird situation where he signs on to do all of that again. Especially after doing, like, you know, the best actor nom for Oppenheimer and stuff like that. It's weird that he'd go back into this world. We've said this before.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like, and he also says that, like, you get to come back and then you also get to do Doom right. So,
but now it's forever coloured by people being confused over whether that's Tony Stark or not.
Also, I'm really enjoying my algorithm on Twitter, by the way, is just like people question, like, everything I've seen on Doctor Doom, he seems like what's his deal? Why is he a bad guy? Because they just keep seeing him do like really cool shit.
Yeah.
And it just seems, I was like, Doctor Doom's a hater. That's all Doom is.
Yeah, he's
just
kind of the biggest hater in comics.
Yeah. He's one of those people that he could do good things, but he's also not going to do ridiculously he's just a hater. He will do specific things to annoy Reed Richards.
There is an alternate reality story where Doom goes to another universe, and it's the perfect universe. It's a utopia. There is no issues. Everyone is happy. And the reason that happened is that Doom and Reed Richards made up and became friends again. And then the Doctor Doom, the one that travelled there, destroys the entire universe and doesn't feel bad because that wasn't Doom, because Doom hates Reed Richards.
I'm trying to put it in comparison. Doom is basically the character encapsulation of when you're about to pull into a parking spot and some dickhead veers around you and goes straight into the spot that you were about to take. It's Christmas Eve, you're stressing, there's only one spot, you've been driving around that car park for 45 minutes, they get in ahead of you. That moment where you have that hatred in your soul, where you look at that other person and you're like, you absolute dickhead. Doom has that every day, but only for Reed Richards.
Yeah. It's 6:30am, you're on a bus, you're going to a job that you hate, someone is playing TikToks out loud. That's how Doom feels every second of his life.
And you gotta respect it, because Reed is also a dickhead.
Yeah.
So Doom is like the person in the story, like, I feel like I'm the only one taking crazy pills, but this Reed Richards guy seems like a fucking dick.
Yeah, like, and it's why I wish we had a different actor for Doom. Like, I feel the way about this Doom casting the way I would have felt if they had cast John Krasinski as the mainline Mr. Fantastic. It's just like, what are you doing? You're just pandering to the easiest fucking win.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. says they talked. Him and Kevin Feige talked about how can we not go backwards? How can we not disappoint expectations?
Get a new actor.
How can we continue to beat expectations?
If they do this, and they're presumably doing this, just like they're doing Blade and Eternals 2 for sure. If they do, he needs to wear the mask the whole time. Like, he can't just do it purely on performance and then I'll buy it.
Here's the issue with that, though. One is the voice. You can't just do Robert Downey Jr.'s voice with the mask on. You're going to have to do the slightly tinny voice.
He's doing the voice from Tropic Thunder.
That's the only way I'll accept it. But number two is, if I paid now look, this is just me, but if I paid an actor like $150 million to be in my movie that I did in my Sandlot, I would probably not get them to wear a mask, in that I paid them a lot of money to have their face.
We're getting split half Doom mask, half Robert Downey Jr. face. That's the poster for Doomsday.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And it's going to be him, and it'll be him over a big globe with his hands out. That's what's going to happen.
So I read this interview and I was like,
it's not.
I know RDJ. It's very strange. Everything that's come out has not helped.
No, all of this news has been bad and disappointing.
And even when they got to RDJ coming out and he's like, look, me and Kevin talked about, we were like, how can we beat expectations? Me coming back as Doom. And everyone's like, I don't know if that was what you talked about. I think Kevin is like, we're dying, Robert.
Yeah.
And Robert's like, well, I need a bit of money.
We got the Russos back in.
Yeah, I like the Russos, and they went to talk to Bob Iger, and Bob wants to pay you a lot of money. He's cancelled 7 other movies.
And there was an interview as well with, Anthony Mackie, who didn't know that this was happening. Because, why would they? And he was like, oh man, I was like, because I went out and did my whole shtick about we got Red Hulk, I got my own Captain America movie, I'm the best, I'm great, and then it's just completely one-upped by this terrible, ludicrous casting decision.
It's just, I just love it. I'm fascinated by the whole thing. There's going to be a documentary in this in 20 years, and it's going to be really fascinating seeing behind the scenes.
100%. And what I will say, Sarah Halley Finn, who leads all of the casting for the MCU, has by and large knocked it out of the park for 20 years. And this feels like a studio mandated decision that completely sidesteps
I assume
all of
this
that.
is probably not their doing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if it comes from Bob Iger itself, it doesn't matter what your job is. If Bob Iger's like, oh, we're getting Robert Downey Jr. back, you're like, okay, fine. If you say so.
But apparently She-Hulk is cancelled as well. Not thrilled about that.
Everything's cancelled. Don't worry about it. Robert Downey Jr.'s back. It's cool.
Be happy.
We're locked in, man. Look, maybe this is going to be good. Maybe it's not going to be good. I'm not quite sure. But it's just, at this point, we're still like, strange way to go about it. But also, you could just pay somebody $60 million to do the job.
I'm not even morbidly curious about this. I think it's going to be bad.
You're just a hater, man. You you don't want to see them succeed. I want Kevin. Kevin's in that room full of smoke. He's smoking that cigarette for years, and he's stressed.
Even one of the boring choices would have been better. You know?
I would have actually taken Krasinski as Doom.
You know what? That would have been a more interesting choice.
I think cast Krasinski as Doom because all the fucking fan casting of him playing Reed Richards, fair enough, but I think it's just funny. And also Krasinski, you could just put the mask on him. Yeah, it's fine.
And he feels like a guy who would wear the mask the whole time.
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, of course he would. It's grand. Doesn't matter. The only person you could cast that you would have to not get them to wear the mask is Robert Downey Jr.
Do you know what would have been fantastic? Mads Mikkelsen,
Tom Cruise,
first of all.
maybe.
I was going to say Tom Cruise. Get Tom Cruise as Doom and never address the fact that it's Tom Cruise.
And he's just constantly running in his full Doom outfit.
Just clanking metal going everywhere.
And they're like, Doom, you don't need to run everywhere. He's like, no,
Dude, I'm running.
I'm doing a stunt. Doom's going to jump off this mountain. I'm telling you now. I got Macquarie in to rewrite the script.
I'm... If this movie comes out, which is a genuine thing we can say now, if this movie comes out, I think I'm going to be disappointed by it.
I think it will come out, and I will feel fine.
I will feel nothing.
I will ultimately live my life the same. But Sean, we're going to move on to our next piece of news, and Alien Romulus is currently in the cinemas, getting lots of rave reviews.
Looks real good.
So Covenant obviously wasn't great. No. Prometheus, I think, gets a lot of hate. But Prometheus, they tried something.
Prometheus tried something, and it didn't stick the landing as well as they expected, so you got a bunch of half-hearted sequels to it.
Yeah. And so Romulus is out at the moment, and the director for Romulus has basically come out and stated, this is Fade Alvarez, and they have expressed interest in co-directing Alien vs. Predator number 3.
Pretty good.
So they would be very interested in coming back to do that. So Romulus getting a lot of love. Now the director's coming out and saying, I've already pitched it to them in that I would love to do Alien vs Predator 3. Now, if you remember correctly, obviously the Alien franchise, very popular. Predator franchise, especially with Prey, like
Prey
2 years ago.
Fucking
like,
great.
Fucking great movie. But you have...
There is the elephant in the room of the Predator.
That's terrible. Yes, that is atrocious.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
True. But you have Predators from 2010.
Predators is great. Yeah.
Love that.
Original AVP, great.
Look, the success, and I would say the highs and lows are quite severe in both franchises.
Yeah, there is a dip.
And I mean, Requiem is atrocious, but you could do number 3 for these, and I think there would be a lot of fans that would go see it, like, because I think even the older ones, Alien vs Predator 1 and 2, they're very, I mean, they came out in 2004, 2005, 2006, so like they're very of that time. I think people would kind of go see it, especially now with all the new Aliens movies coming out.
Yeah, and especially like because you got people are on board with just big dumb movies, like Godzilla vs Kong did really, really well. So this seems like a natural, like, hey, let's get the original crossover fight and just bring it back.
Yeah, and I think it would actually be kind of fascinating to watch. I'm actually now interested like how they would do it, because if the last two are Romulus and Prey, I'm like, you know what? They're not actually doing that terribly, and if you get the same people involved, could be pretty good.
Like, what would you do it though? Like, how did AVP2 end? Who wins in that one?
I mean, that is... I do know that the alien goes into the maternity ward in Los Angeles, but I don't know how it ends.
Because it has the Predalien.
Is there not a helicopter explosion or something?
There is. I forgot. A Raptor comes, an F-22 Raptor comes and drops a nuke, killing everyone.
It's so funny how our brains blocked that far out. I was like, wasn't there like an explosion? Like a small explosion?
It's like they wrote themselves into such a corner that no one could win.
They're like, well, we can't let it out. Like, it can't leave LA. We gotta blow the whole fucking place up.
But I would love if it was like kind of Prey, where... For the Prey is where the Predator is one of the best sports he's ever been.
True.
Usually he just completely outguns everyone. But Prey is like he's actually fighting on semi-fair terms. So I'd love
Which is very unlike him.
Very unlike him. Usually he's a prick.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like that guy go up against like goes hunting for the alien queen from Aliens 2. Like Aliens. That kind of shit.
Now they've gone into like all the different versions of aliens.
All the
and stuff
hybrid
like
shit that they have going on.
There's loads of hybrid shit going on. I mean, I think at this point people are just, when they think of alien, I think they just mostly think of facehugger, pops out a chest, and then the big queen.
Then the xenomorph thing. Just go back to that. That's all we need. Or do the little weird fucking alien with the sharp pointy bit from Prometheus. That one was great. I like that one.
Yeah, I actually think they're probably... We normally are like, don't do a sequel to any of this stuff, and also doing the Godzilla vs. Kong was funny. Mm-hmm. But I also think like this could also be pretty funny. I think it's an idea that like you could make money off.
Can I pitch you something?
Go for it.
Alien vs. Predator 3. Pan down, you're expecting to see either an alien or a predator. Instead, who do you see? Jake Sully from Avatar. It's a 3-way crossover for the third movie.
You think James Cameron is going to be like,
he's going to
the next Avatar movie is Alien versus Predator versus Avatar?
Canonically goes Avatar, Avatar 2, The Way of Water, Alien versus Predator 3.
I loved the idea that he went away for 15 years and he came back and his big plan was number 4 should be a crossover with Alien versus Predator, guys. I really think that's what we're missing.
Fellas, there's only one way to make this story work. In that we need Prey to be pretty good and Romulus to do well, and then we do AVP3.
They're like, how did he even know those movies were going to come out?
He's James Cameron now. I mean, I guess
he's down in the submarine. He just knew that they were going to do well. It doesn't make any sense.
Direct line to also, Hollywood from the bottom of the ocean.
Not lost on us that you said Jake Sully, because of course nobody else knew what the fuck. Who is that?
Jake's he's the blue fella in Avatar.
The blue fella. Oh, that narrows it down.
Is it Sam Worthington? Is that who he is?
It is Sam Worthington, yes.
And who's in Terminator then? Who's in Terminator 4?
Oh, that's not Worthington. That's the other guy who looks like Worthington.
Yeah, who looks like Sam Worthington?
Sam Worthington and him kept getting mixed up.
Yeah. Actor like... There's people on Reddit asking this.
It's... Who is it? It's not Aaron Taylor-Johnson. No, it's not them. It's...
Terminator 4 is Sam Worthington.
Oh, it is?
So who's in Avatar? Is that Sam Worthington?
That's Worthington as well.
Jeez, Sam Worthington's doing well for himself.
Worthington's doing great stuff. So he is.
Huh. Joy Courtney we're thinking of.
Joy Courtney.
Captain Boomerang himself.
The Joy Courtney and yeah, Worthington and Courtney, they were basically the same person for about 3 years.
Yeah, and in my defence, Joy Courtney's in Terminator Genesis.
That's what I was thinking. Wait, Emilia Clarke.
Yes, that's the confusion.
Right, okay. I'm glad we sorted out.
Yeah, you can all go back to your business.
Alien versus Predator versus Terminator?
Oh, I think the Predator has that. Predator takes the Terminator any day.
But the alien is completely ineffective against the Terminator.
Yeah, because
but he is effective against the Predator.
Do you think they have to team up? Terminator and Alien team up to take down the Predator.
I think Terminator might take it.
Terminator? No, in what world? Which Terminator?
Oh, well, T-1000.
Robert Patrick, T2.
Yeah, T2. I'm thinking T2. I'm thinking liquid.
Do you know what? I think T2 might have it, actually. Yeah. Arnie, fucked. Dead immediately.
Oh, Arnie's dead. Arnie's so dead. I just wanted to bring this up, Sean. Yay or nay on the Alien vs. Predator?
Oh, yay.
Always. Just keep making them.
Yeah.
Even if they're shit, just keep throwing them out.
Keep pumping them out. We will support them. Just us.
They're like the only franchise that I think it started off as a bit. So like it's never, you've never had the Aliens level or like movie where you're like, don't ruin the franchise by fucking do them. Just have them fighting forever.
I'm hesitant to put this into the world, but I'm surprised someone like Disney or Warner Brothers hasn't created a movie franchise where alternate versions of characters just face off against each other.
That's coming.
It's the schlockiest thing in the world, but it's definitely, they're going to do that, right?
I think we've actually created a new thing. You do Alien versus Predator versus something else.
Get the two most consistent rivals in cinematic universes, whose entire reason for being is just, wouldn't it be cool if they fought? And throw someone else into that mix.
We need a wild card. You need somebody, like maybe, I don't know, if you're really stretching, Channing Tatum's Gambit against the two of them.
Yeah, and give me Ben Affleck's Batman. But he gets all the gadgets, you know?
Oh, he's dead in minutes.
Almost immediately he's dead.
Almost immediately. He's face hugged to death and he's done.
Give me James McAvoy from Split. We see what happens there.
Oh, good. That's good. Maybe the two of them versus Sam Worthington, the man.
Yeah. We just leave him loose and see what happens.
Just let him go. Let's see what happens.
Sam Worthington versus Joy Courtney versus Alien versus Predator.
I think, no, they got to team up as like a twin duo that they can't tell the difference between them.
It's like Bad Boys, but they're just trying to survive.
Predator constantly thinks he's about to win, but then one rolls out and the twin rolls in and he's fresh and the Predator hasn't noticed.
Yeah,
now you have a new fight.
And the Predator has some kind of technology that can mimic them. And so now there's three of them for some reason. And it's played by Sam Rockwell for no goddamn reason.
The alien is so confused. It's just like, why are there 3 Sam Worthingtons?
So many faces to hug.
So Shaun, we're going to move on to our next piece of news, and I do have more news about Marvel that I wanted to kind of touch on. That is, scrapped Avengers 5 plans reportedly made this Phase 4 hero, Shang-Chi, the main character. So this is reports and rumours that were put out this week that Shang-Chi was reportedly set to be one of the leads in Avengers 5. And number 2 is coming out apparently still. That's the rumours I'm hearing as of this exact moment. But he was meant to be one of the big things leading on from his last movie.
Right.
The issue with this is that he was confirmed to be one of the main leads when Kang was the villain. And now Kang is no longer a villain, and they've rewritten the whole movie, and now it kind of looks like Shang-Chi might be kind of getting the heave-ho.
Yeah, which it looks... Actually, he might be double fucked, because the end of Shang-Chi, they look at the rings, and it looks like Eternal tech, which Kang's whole chair and design and stuff is all that kind of tech. So, yeah, I think just absolutely shafted in this. It's not surprising that he was to be quite prominent in the Avengers. He's one of the few new origins and new characters that we actually got in that phase. Everything else just seemed to be a lot of follow-on stuff, or Disney Plus series.
Yeah. And I mean, that movie, if you go back and watch it, I think when it came out, we were like, oh, that's pretty good. But going back to watch it, like, it's really solid. Like, the fight scenes, like, everything is really, really excellent in that movie. It just probably came 5 or 6 years too late for the franchise itself.
Yeah, but at the time it came out, especially, it was like a breath of fresh air, and it was, he's, the master of Kung Fu, so it's a really good, Kung Fu action movie. I hate the Trevor Slattery thing in the middle. I've gone on record as saying
that's weird. That's super duper weird.
Yeah, but overall, I quite like that movie. And yeah, I hope we get to see more of Shang-Chi before everything is reset in Secret Wars.
I think he might appear, but he won't be as big as he was if he's just fighting Doom. Because once Doom gets involved, then, I mean, at that point, Fantastic Four would probably replace Shang-Chi in, like, the storyline process. Yeah, just by necessity. Like, they're villains. Like Doom and Fantastic Four go hand in hand. Which is wild that we're going to get a brief introduction and then it's the world-ending event with characters we barely know. What other studio did that didn't really work that well?
What could we... if only there was an example to reference.
Maybe like around 2016, something like that, where like... And it just didn't go down well.
The Dark Universe, that's what we're thinking of.
That was it, the Dark Universe. My apologies. Yeah. Just, it worked really well for them. They haven't reset at all. So
yeah, they didn't reset with the guy who made objectively your most creative and successful films.
Maybe bring him back.
Maybe just see what he's doing these days.
What's he up to these days? So I just wanted to touch on the fact that now with the rewrite, I think that is probably going to have a knock-on effect to a lot of these characters. Weird that Shang-Chi isn't like front and centre, because especially if you're building this new universe, we talked about it last week, we don't know who's in the Avengers. There isn't actually an Avengers team.
Yeah.
But if you were going to do one, he'd be front and centre as like Kung Fu guy.
100%, yeah.
Like,
he's your
every team
guy.
needs one of them. You had Cap in the last one. We need the guy who's good at fighting.
Yeah.
Fist fighting.
You had like a Cap and a Black Widow and stuff like that. Like, you're hey, go in and punch people. You need that.
And Doctor Strange and Hulk, you do everything else.
Yeah. And it's weird because I think a lot of the new Captain America centers are trying to reform the Avengers. I think that's ultimately unsuccessful, and that's why we get the Thunderbolts happening. So I think
that's actually kind of sad as a plot.
It is really. We get Thunderbolts asterisk for some reason.
Wait, so the story is he tries to get the band back together, but the band doesn't want to come back together.
Yeah, so he just gets a load of fucking leftovers.
Nobody wants to hang out with you. Okay, so I wanted to move on, Shaun, to our next piece of news. And also, by the way, did you hear that Star Wars Acolyte got cancelled?
Yeah,
after
ending on a massive cliffhanger. Yeah,
so that's good, isn't it?
Love that for all the fans. All Star Wars stuff is bad. People are going to complain. Just make stuff.
I think from now on, I think they should release a new Star Wars thing every 3 months, right? This is my theory. Mm-hmm. And they should completely do the opposite of whatever the last series was. So, if in one series you go completely dark, the next series you gotta go completely light. And when they both get hate about being wrong, then you gotta do one that's in the middle. And then when that gets hate about not being dark or light enough, just keep doing them, just keep moving it around the place, and they're all just going to fail. But it'll be funny.
What's fascinating is that Disney Plus as a streaming service came fairly late to the game. Like Netflix and Hulu and shit had been doing it for a while, and they learned fucking nothing because Netflix had to keep cranking out series to keep people invested. But then they didn't have enough money to keep doing that, so they started cancelling things after one season and people got really disappointed. And now Disney is doing that. The only caveat is that it's with beloved properties that people are actually attached to.
I did see a lot of people being like, oh, the Acolyte, I mean, same as Breaking Bad. If Breaking Bad got one season, I was like, well, Breaking Bad was quality-wise better than probably every show ever, or like Sopranos maybe, and like Game of Thrones,
but like stuff like
that kind of level we're talking about. So that's kind of different. But the concept of what's also fascinating is all of the biggest shows and all the streaming services are those old 25, 22 episode seasons from like network TV days,
which is what people want ultimately. Is like, sorry, people want it sometimes. Like, people like throwing on, hey, let's just put on Seinfeld while we do stuff. Like, that's what a lot of media consumption is. Not this 8-episode thing that you have to be ultimately invested in, and it all drops. And it's got to
be the greatest show ever.
Yeah, like everyone says it. I guarantee you've said it. Isn't it nice to have a show? You know, that's just like, that's the show we put on now. And it's just, it comes out every week and we can watch that on a Wednesday. Like, it's nice. It's just really nice. Like, House of the Dragon had 10, I think, this season. Yeah.
But that's kind of different because Game of Thrones always had 10. So you're kind of like, they set 10 up, takes 2 years to make it. You put them out and they're all high quality.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it is not, I do like hey, here's 24 episodes. The
first 8 episodes, New Girl is one of my favourite shows ever, right?
Yeah.
But the first 8 episodes, if it was just 8 and they released it on streaming, I'd be like, this is a really bad show. It's not great.
The enjoyment comes from the comfort of it.
Winston doesn't get funny until season 3, so he'd be long gone.
Winston's the slow bird of New Girl.
He's a very slow bird, but once he arrives, he basically takes over, is the thing. But you never get to season 4 by, like, if you just do the first 8 episodes, like, this guy's really boring.
If you made New Girl now, it would get cancelled.
If you made any of those shows, that's actually what's fascinating, is that, like, Community, New Girl, Parks and Rec, like, even like Friends, Seinfeld, like any of those stuff.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating because, like, none of them would ever go any further.
Yeah, you just don't really get it anymore. Have you watched The Umbrella Academy? The new series?
Yes.
It's not good, is it?
No.
It's real bad.
But, like, it's weird. That is weird. But we got to support Róisín because, you know, he's one of us, so you got to respect that.
But, like, first 3 seasons, good. Then it went to shit at the end because they ran out of money. Whereas, like, years ago, like, Friends ran for 10 seasons and did so much more episodes because they were just like, hey, we're just going to put them out week on week. We're not going to dip them all at once.
And I love an episode that's pointless.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds weird.
No,
right?
I get
you. I love an episode where something dumb happens and it's like, I don't want to go back to New Girl, right? But I have a really specific scenario that actually happened this week. Was I was watching an episode and the joke is like they're all coming up with like their flaws that the other roommates talk about.
Yes.
Right? And then Schmidt's thing is he comes in and is like, is it my eyebrows? Are my eyebrows the thing that you guys talk about behind my back? And so in the next scene, as a joke, he comes in and his eyebrows, he basically shaves his eyebrows off, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, now they're gone, you can't slag me, right? Funny bit. But then the next episode, his eyebrows are fine, right? Because it's just a stupid gag for a show. It doesn't have to mean anything. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's a bottle episode. And yeah, like, and there's overarching things. You know, I think people grow, but it's slow. And it's like, it's important when that kind of stuff happens. You're not trying to reinvent the entire universe in 8 episodes, and if it's bad,
because there's
you never
nobody
get
online
anything
being
else.
like, his eyebrows shouldn't have grown back.
No.
Next episode, it's only been 2 days.
Unless it's us, in which case I
Unless
want
it's us,
answers.
then we are allowed to say that. But we also are happy enough with Alien vs Predator 9. So
Yeah.
we're strange.
We're hard to please, ultimately.
But also simultaneously very easy.
Yeah, if you do it right, it's good. Just have someone on staff that gives a shit, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah. And also stop doing Star Wars things, because they're all just going to get hate.
Yeah.
The best thing you did is Andor. That's real good. Do another season of Andor, but I'm also very scared that I think Andor is like a broken clock right twice a day situation where they nailed it.
I think Andor was in a point where no one high up gave a shit, and then they were just like left semi unsupervised, and it was really good. But now that it was good, they'll be really heavily supervised and monitored.
They're back. Season 2, we gotta go to service.
Yeah.
What are the people say? What do they want?
What's Grogu up to?
Did you know the Chris Hemsworth Hulk Hogan movie is cancelled?
My God. Well, I mean, there was no reason that should be made, right?
Chris Hemsworth, I think, got his name back off that movie.
Yeah.
Which is strange, because, like, knowing the Hulk Hogan history and, like, real bad dude. Weird that he signed on.
Do you want a really good wrestling movie? Iron Claw.
No, what are you doing? Why would you do that to people?
A duck. It's really well made and well produced. Don't watch it. It's not.
What's funny about Iron Claw is I knew the story obviously years ago,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a wrestling story about the Von Erichs and everything, right? So I knew all that. I've never watched the movie because when I seen the trailer, I was like, I don't need that in my life. I would rather go watch Alien than that.
Oh, 100%. It's so sad, but it's so well made.
It's the saddest. Like I've read the real life story, so I was like, why would I want to watch a movie?
You've lived through it just like from other sources, but now you're going to watch it play out in front of you.
I don't want to see it again. If you like, maybe you like Zac Efron. He's in that movie. The guy from The Bear. He's there.
He's in the movie.
They're all healthy and happy, and they're all fucking jacked. If you're into that, like, go watch it. It's a fun family time. Throw it on at Christmas.
But hey, if you want a movie with Zac Efron and has a wrestler in it, Ricky Stenicki's pretty funny.
Iron Claw is funnier though. Shaun, I think Iron Claw is the best comedy in the year.
Oh, Connor. Oh, no.
There has to be somebody who sat down to watch that because they like either The Bear or they like Zac Efron.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, oh, this is their new movie. I'll watch that. And you sit down with like some popcorn and then you're like, oh no. oh no.
When we go away this weekend, I'm just going to sit you down, strap you to a chair, and you can watch Iron Claw on repeat.
I don't want to. Don't make me do
It's already
that.
planned, Connor. I'm sorry.
I know what happens, and it's not good.
What do you mean? I turned it off after 10 minutes. What do you mean?
If you just turn it off after a certain time, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
It's just these lads are flying at Sunday yard. Best
It's
wrestlers
great
in
to
the
see
world.
brothers hanging out together, huh?
Ash and the Von Erichs will take over the wrestling business soon enough, so they will.
Oh, God.
Jeez, no.
God.
I wanted to finish, by the way, movie news this week with a rumour that's based off Captain America, and that is the rumour that came out. And normally I wouldn't touch this because it's not confirmed by anything, but it's just a really funny rumour that I wanted to cover, run past you. The rumour is Captain America Brave New World director Julius Oda has pretty much been removed from the project.
Oh, damn. That's always good. For any reason, or for like creative stuff, or did they do something bad?
It's not really said, but it's also. But I think what the report is, or the rumour, they've cleverly covered themselves because they're like, he's still on the credits because he hasn't made any drama about being kicked off the movie, but they appear to know something that they might be kicked off the movie.
Ew, that's never good. I mean, at least his name is still on the thing. Can take credit for it, but is that just like it's so that had a bajillion reshoots, that movie.
Yeah, it's been shooting since May to August, reshoots.
Yeah, which is like most movies are filmed just themselves in that time. So, and with everything, all the announcements and everything, and stories that seem to be changing day by day, maybe they're like, they have like a head of story or something who's just going to overlook the whole editing process. And it's like, this is where it's all going.
I would say what's happened is that he was involved with the whole movie, and then the reshoots happened, and they may have moved him off the reshoots and brought somebody else in to run that side of it.
Very possible. Very, very possible. This is all rumours and hearsay and speculation, of course.
Oh yeah, but I mean, at this point, like, that movie is cursed.
Yeah, I can't foresee this being good.
If it is, it's a miracle. Fair play to them if they pull this off.
I would love this to be fantastic, but I don't think it will be.
Apparently the test screenings, by the way, audiences were unimpressed by the film's action scenes and the chemistry between Cap and his love interest, and they mostly just found the movie uninspired and unengaging.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. That's their opinion.
It's only one test screening, it's only one reshoot, we don't know anything. Could also be good. Anthony Mackie, I think, is going to be very good in the role, is the problem. They just probably haven't built a script around him that would be good.
Yeah, no, I think he'd be a great Captain America in a better movie. Without having seen this movie, of course. Also, did you know apparently Seth Rollins is in this?
Yeah, he's like a random... Who is he? Is he part of the Serpent Society?
I think so. He's just I think he's a random goon. Like,
yeah, I think they brought him in for like the stunts and stuff. This is WWE wrestler Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins, yes.
Married to Becky Lynch, obviously. Yeah. One of our own. So we have to kind of Irish by marriage in that way.
Do you think Seth Rollins has watched the Late Late Toy Show?
100%.
Excellent.
There's no way that he hasn't.
So it's him and Phoebe Bridgers, we can guarantee. I've seen the Late Late Toy Show.
It's just like, you're one of us. Come in. You're fine. Like, if that child is half Irish, that child's watching the Late Late Toy Show.
100%. That would be a fun thing to do on like a stream or something one day. Watch old Late Late Toy shows and just talk about them.
I die of cringe.
Yeah. We'll watch the Lara Croft thing. It's great.
No, I don't want to.
The people wanted Connor.
If people haven't seen the Late Late Toy Show, just look it up. It's basically a household thing here in Ireland. It's one show, one episode of our talk show a year. It's like basically Stephen Colbert's talk show or Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, and for one episode a year on one Friday, in normally late November, it's just a toy show.
Yeah.
And they buy a load of toys and they show it throughout the show. They get kids in and do interviews with the kids of like, what are you getting for Christmas? Oh, what's this new thing? What's this new dollhouse? Yeah. What's this new bike? And then they donate all the toys to local hospitals for children in there. So that's nice.
Which is a lovely thing, but what you end up with is a load of kids who aren't media trained staying up way past their bedtime, hopped up on sugar.
And it's live, brother.
And it's live. And all kinds of shit can happen.
They say anything, and it's the job of the host to like hang on and hold it together, to be like, because if you're looking at a 7-year-old and they're like, and especially when the crowd laughs, you can see in the 7-year-old's eyes, like, the worst thing you can give a 7-year-old is an audience.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, now's the time to show off.
That's when they're old enough to like get, hey, I just made someone laugh, then they double down.
It's game over. They're taking over the whole place.
And there's kids from the country who behave very differently to city kids on camera, I would say.
Oh, they would behave like us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, we'd be really out of place on the regular talk show, and they're really out of place in the toy show.
Yeah. So you haven't seen that. We'd recommend that. Not movie news.
No,
so
not.
That kind of brings it into the movie news segment. So
what happens
we'll move on to... That means it's time for the Weird News jingle, Shaun. Every week. It's gone back down to 2 out of 10 in my head, but it's sending your number out of 10.
Yeah. Spotify's going to ask you a question at the end of this episode. Leave a number out of 10 for how much you like the jingle.
But yeah, this is weird news. This is the section of the show where we go through all the weirdest news stories from around the world. We talk about the news. The real news is too afraid to talk about. Now, Shaun hasn't heard any of these weird news stories.
No. I've been too busy watching the toy show on repeat.
What? I mean, that weird, but also fine. There's something eerie about someone saying, I've been watching the children on the toy show.
On repeat during summer, yeah.
It's like, it's not illegal, but it feels illegal, but I don't know why.
No. It's what I mean is I've been watching and laughing at the children, Conor.
But
Mocking
you're
them.
still looking at them.
No, my eyes are closed.
I'm listening to the children.
I turned off the monitor. What's weird news?
The police sirens are in the background, just slowly getting closer. So what I wanted to start off weird news this week is we're going to go to space, and I'm going to say a sentence that if I said it in any sort of other context, pretty scary. But we have been talking about Alien and Alien Romulus and all that stuff. So Shaun, astronaut who found blob growing outside International Space Station was warned to flee immediately.
What the fuck? What? A blob, you say?
Yes. This is Russian space agency Roscosmos. Used basically, are told their astronaut Oleg Kononenko to make himself scarce with immediate effect when they found out about this. The 60-year-old was worryingly told that he needed to get his skates on and fast while dealing with a quite unorthodox situation after venturing outside of the safety of the International Space Station last year. Okay?
Also, they've hid this for a year.
Although spacewalks come as part of the territory, they're not usually as dramatic as the one that Oleg went on, who was the first person to spend 1,000 days in orbit.
Jeez, it was like 3 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. So him and his astronaut friend, I'm going to say, what's a co-worker? Him and his co-worker.
Technically, it would be cosmonaut if they're Russian.
Cosmonaut, if you were. Nikolai Chubb dealt with it, right? So the Russian duo headed on board the ISS the month prior for the Exhibition 70, alongside the rest of their team, right? So there's a few people up there, Shaun. There's 6 or 7. A few to run through in terms of if you were a monster.
I mean, if you were some kind of invasive alien species, a lot of tasty stuff inside of that lunchbox in space.
So they were sent up apparently to research heart health, cancer treatments, and space manufacturing techniques.
Question.
Yeah, I have a question after your question, but go on.
How is it easier to research heart health and cancer in space than just doing it here?
Why would the magnifying glass floating be easier to study? It's already hard enough studying cancer treatments.
Yeah, we've been at it for a while.
Why do it on hard mode?
You're essentially saying, it was too difficult to wallpaper the house, so now I'm going to go underwater because that'll be easier.
And I'm going to wallpaper it there.
Yeah, I don't mean to question the Russian space organisation.
Could you not get the really smart people to look at that on the ground when they've loads of gravity?
Yeah. Cancer, it's from here.
Why are you bringing it up there?
Why are you putting cancer in space? All kinds of things could happen.
And heart health. Are they just studying fucking graphs but floating while they're doing it?
What happens to a heart without oxygen? It fucking dies.
The last one, by the way, is space manufacturing techniques, which I think they mostly did that one because, the other two seem a lot harder.
Yeah, unless they're manufacturing hearts and cancer. Which,
these
hopefully they're not.
The stuff. They could be. They ran into a spot of bother when the external radiator began leaking, forcing Kononenko and Chubb to conduct an unprecedented spacewalk, which was the former 6th and the latter's 1st. They reported that the source of the issue appeared to be a backup radiator that was mounted on the outside of the module, where astronauts carry out experiments. So this is in the place that they were doing the experiments.
Oh, okay. So they were They were doing all kinds of biological and manufacturing experiments. They head outside.
Yeah.
Imagine being in space 6 times. It's fucking wild.
Although the main radiator was still operational, the space agency wanted those on board the ISS to fix the problem, and so they were sent out to have a look at it before reporting back to those on the ground. But they soon realised it was a bit more complex than they first thought. They took the lead. By the way, is this not just a horror movie up until this point?
Absolutely. Like, the slightest thing goes wrong, it'll be an easy fix, we'll head out. Hang on. What's this black goo on the side of the ship?
They noticed that there was a number of holes on the radiator panel, although they didn't see any traces of coolant. The holes have very even edges, like they've been drilled through, said the engineer.
I'm not allowing that.
There are lots of them. They are spread out in a chaotic manner.
That has to be a piss take of an article.
Conor had a much bigger problem on his hands, the fact that he had encountered a growing blob or droplet while trying to soak up any escaping liquid from the generator. He intended to mop up the leak with a cloth towel, but it was a lot more liquid than he had first expected. It turns out this blob was residual coolant, which had been disturbed while they were carrying out their work, and it attached itself to his safety tether.
Okay, so it's not extraterrestrial, it's from the radiator.
True, but I'm saying sentences that are written in scripts everywhere for monster in space, oh shit, we're dead.
That's also true and possibly believable. Drilled holes implies some level of tampering. You know? You don't...
Who's tampering?
Who's outside with a drill? Like...
His superiors instructed him to leave the area immediately.
So, it's not a quick way to get back in, I'd imagine. I imagine it takes a while.
Russia had to insist that none of the liquid had reached his suit, which is a very strange thing to have to say out loud, unless you're worried that blob is a fucking alien.
Also, again, not an astronaut cosmonaut. I don't know what I'm talking about. But, is it the procedure that if there's a leak in space, you just fucking wipe it up with a cloth?
Yeah, I think that's it. You bring a dishcloth up.
You spit on it before and then you just scrub
he
away.
He brought a big roll of Bounty. He's like, one sheet does plenty, lads. You know what I mean? It's even in space.
He's got the blue roll you have in, like, restaurants.
Oh, fucking, that's the proper stuff. They brought the proper stuff in.
Rob used to rob so much blue roll.
So they did have to then eventually go back inside, but they kept saying that none of the kit was contaminated, and they had taken tissues and cloths to wipe down their gear and tools, so they wouldn't bring any of it inside the ISS. But Shaun, I'm now kind of convinced that this is the start of an alien movie, because this is definitely the start of an alien movie.
Oh yeah, like that man has a bite on him that he's trying to conceal from the rest of the crew.
Here's my big problem. A few weeks ago, they returned to Earth after the mission was complete. So my now new thing is, what came down with them? How long is it until we all die? And maybe I bow down to the new alien blob overlords.
Why do you assume that the alien blob would be vindictive and want to control us?
It has a drill. It's been drilling radiators from what I've heard.
Could be part of its culture to drill some radiators, you know?
How dare you judge that alien's culture?
That's how they say hello, you bigot.
Sorry, that one's on me.
Yeah, check your privilege.
I just think you shouldn't be drilling radiators in space. That's quite dangerous.
But we haven't arrived at the common technology of the drill, so there's something we can share.
You can bond over like the electric drill that they're using.
It's like, what do you have? Oh, I have a DeWalt. Oh, and a Black & Decker, I see.
Well done on thinking of 2 different drills. Fair play to you.
I can name drills all day. Ryobi, Makita, Milwaukee. Here,
that's just places. Okay, fair enough. Go on.
Stanley. That's just a dude.
That's an airport, I think.
Probably close enough. Bosch.
Bosch. That's a TV show on Amazon.
Metabo.
That's definitely an order of some. I don't know. Something. Is that a company? It's got to be a company.
It's probably a company. Everything's a company.
Have you seen Bosch on Amazon?
No, but my parents love Bosch.
Bosch is like a classic. Like, yeah, it's a proper parent show.
It's a proper like dad show of just like,
so
look
good.
Look what he's up to.
I'm growing into it. I'm like, yeah, this is good.
Man reaches a certain age, he starts watching Bosch.
Just that's how it works. Shaun, what would you do in this situation first and foremost?
Well, I was thinking about this. Is that if
I knew you were.
First of all, if I was outside the ISS, the temptation to just jump and just go off for a while might overwhelm me. Because if I just,
firstly,
yeah,
how are you getting back?
See, again, not my problem.
No, I would actually say that's your only problem.
I'll just go out into space and I'll just keep talking until the radio dies, and then you'll know what's in space.
What? Are you fucking okay, right, last week we had the numbers thing, right? We had the numbers thing and the fucking animals thing and the fucking feelings thing, and you had empathy for concepts, right? Yeah. For this week, you're telling me if you were put in space, you're going to go through all of the 2 years of astronaut training, go through all of that, and the minute you get up there, you just fucking leap out.
I'm not saying I would, I'm saying the temptation to just see what's out there. I have like ocean madness. Where I'm like,
you have ocean madness when you're on land.
It's called madness.
Just like you have constant like, oh lads, I'm getting cabin fever. Just like you're outside.
Shaun, you're in a park. Like,
what are you fucking talking about?
You have hay fever, if anything.
You might be the worst person to get trapped in any sort of situation with, like, just pure, just immediate ocean madness at all times.
I think I'd rise to the occasion. I think in these hypotheticals I'm not at my best. But when things start going, I think I'm ready.
I disagree.
This is my audition for NASA.
Your audition is, I wouldn't immediately kill myself if, something went wrong.
But say I got the weird goop inside of my suit, right?
Yeah.
And they're like,
would you tell everyone?
No, I don't think I would.
I wouldn't want to bother them.
No, I don't want to raise concern. What if they make me go home
from the space station?
Yeah, but surely it's okay though, because if it was in your suit or it got on you, surely it's part of it. Came up with you, so you should be grand, right?
You are literally the first person dead in all alien movies. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's from Earth. It's not going to damage anything.
But how do you know?
It came up with a shuttle with you.
Yeah, the alien.
So did cancer, to be fair.
Yeah, they brought cancer research.
With what? It's liquid cancer, is it?
It's space. What happens to the cancer research when it hits space? We don't know.
It's called astrology. Cancer research, because it's a star sign.
I mean, that is... You know what? I started off aggressive, but that's not bad. That's not your worst.
That's all right. Come on.
What number is space?
Oh, my heart said 19 for some reason.
I think you used 19 for giraffes.
No, I didn't. I used 14 for giraffes.
Because you said it looked like a giraffe.
It does a bit.
It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
Bits on it.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, I read this and I was like, this is the star of every horror movie. We will know for sure. Has anyone spoken to an astronaut or cosmonaut? Has anyone... Is he slowly, did he wake up one day and his eyes are all bloodshot and he's like, there's dark goo, floating about inside it? I'm not quite sure.
I don't, but he just keeps drilling holes in things for no reason.
He's just mad about fucking drilling now. He's just insane. He's got into DIY.
It's the Armageddon thing all over. They went up to space as astronauts and came back as drillers. Well, it's a reverse Armageddon.
They've reversed Armageddon. So he's got working on an oil tanker.
Yeah, himself and Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck are all just out there kicking it.
If you haven't seen Armageddon, see, it's one of those where I'm like, well, I mean, it's not excellent. I wouldn't say go your way to see it. But at the same time, if it's on, you'd watch it because there's a load of lads who are drillers who get sent to space because there's no other astronaut that knows how to do what they can do.
You got to drill a certain way. You can't teach drilling. You got to.
Can't teach a drill to an astronaut. You can teach an astronaut to a driller.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Shall we move on to our next piece of news? And I have I have maybe a marriage that might be on the rocks, and I just maybe need your help to try and solve it, because I have woman tries to run boyfriend over in car en route to couples therapy session.
Ooh.
And I don't know if it's a mixed signals. Is at that point, if you're him, do you just kind of be like, look, maybe this isn't working out? What's the story here?
I mean, it's like the alcoholic throwing a big party before he gives up the drink, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I just need to get all of this out of my system and then we'll go to therapy.
A 30-year-old Minnesota woman is in custody after the incident on the way to couples therapy. Veronica Róisín Gast was arrested for second-degree assault, criminal vehicular operation, bodily harm, gross negligence and domestic assault, according to the authorities. Grass was driving to a couples therapy appointment with her boyfriend when the incident occurred last Wednesday. Before the incident, Grass and her boyfriend had been a couple for about 1 year. Okay? According to Crime Online, while driving on the way to the therapist, her boyfriend announced that he was thinking about breaking up their relationship and instead requested to be taken home so they didn't have to go to the couples therapy.
Interesting. Man's trying to save a few quid.
So it was like 60 quid to save the relationship. I
mean, look, to each their own. Therapy's a great thing, all the rest of it. Now let's be funny. After a year, are you really going to therapy? Would you not just call it quits?
That's a strong point. At what point is how far are you in before you're like couples therapy?
I think it's like the more and more your lives get entangled with each other, like, you know, bank accounts, leases, kids, pets, family, all that kind of stuff. After a year, I think in most cases, I know everything's different, but in most cases, you could just say, hey, listen, this isn't working out.
If you don't have any like baggage or anything, like if you don't live together, if you don't have anything like that, or if you don't have any kids, or you're just boyfriend, girlfriend, and like you see each other every few nights a week.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. I think, you know, I think the therapy is there as like, hey, we really want to make this work because it's been good for so long, and then something happened, you know? I don't know. See, and that might sound harsh, but if someone said, hey, we've been going out to a week and now we're going to couples therapy, you know, there's a scale of where it's okay to not go to couples therapy.
We met last week.
Yeah.
We're going to therapy.
Like, yeah, great meeting you last night.
Like, I don't mind if you want to go to therapy separately, because maybe you got, like, maybe you want to talk about your things, maybe you have anxiety about certain things. It's always good to go talk to somebody if you're feeling that way. But going together as a couple after like 2 months seems like, I don't know, man.
Sometimes it just doesn't work, you know?
It's fine.
People are weird and messy, and it can just end. That's all right.
Yeah, that's grand. But Gast allegedly suddenly stopped her car and demanded her boyfriend exit the vehicle, right? So the victim, he then gets out of the car and he tries to pass in front of the car to go to a nearby sidewalk.
First mistake.
There.
Gotta go to
when
the
the
back.
boyfriend passed the front of the vehicle, Gast allegedly made eye contact before hitting the gas pedal in the attempt to run him over at 5 miles per hour.
And look, I'm sure he was intimidated by that, but wouldn't you feel immediately justified in your decision to break up?
He's like, this is why we just had that conversation.
He's like tumbling over the car. This is what I was talking about.
Apparently he smashed into the windshield after rolling across the hood of the vehicle, and he shattered the windshield with his elbow when she hit him. In the process, the defendant's cover, Shaun, is that she was actually just pulling away from the curb, and he just so happened to be in front of her.
But you knew he was walking there, like. And
he had just said he would like to see other people.
But if you hit, I don't give a fuck. If you hit anyone on accident with your car at any time, you're in the wrong.
What if they're really mean to me, though?
What if he didn't want to get married all
what if he didn't go to my therapy that I had booked? That's not nice.
Do you think she went to the therapy anyway, or did the police get involved straight away?
That was my question that I was going to ask.
Sorry.
Do you drive off from hitting him and go to the therapy? Like, he couldn't make it.
And then and the therapist is like, oh, well, clearly there's some issues there.
He has commitment issues. He doesn't even want to turn up. He doesn't want to save this relationship like I do.
And how long are you two together? Oh!
3 weeks.
Well, you drove here.
Apparently she slowed down and called the police after hitting him. Defendant said she was in shock at hitting him, so she did not stop right away but let off the gas. While in custody, Gas claimed her cracked windshield was caused by her boyfriend punching the glass, not his body weight.
Interesting. And do we know the truth of the matter?
Her story is that he got out of the car, punched the windshield, and then she kind of slightly hit him.
That's an insane move. Like, say that's what happened. Your first instinct, after getting what you want, by all accounts, is to punch glass.
Secondly, after reviewing his body, he had a very, very cut up and bloody elbow, and his hands were fine.
Well, he elbow dropped the windscreen.
He taekwondo'd elbowed the windshield. Sorry, my apologies.
I was told to use your elbows in a fight whenever you can, because they'll break less frequently than your hands will.
Who told you that?
Honestly, it was my mother.
My mother, Conor McGregor.
My mother, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson told me to knock the fuck out of anybody. And we were like 3 years old, and she was like, someone steps up to you, Shaun, twirl around, elbow to the fucking temple, game over.
I think I might have been like bullied or got in a fight in school or something. And then I was like, hey, let's get some... I took karate for a while as well.
No way.
Yeah. I got to like yellow belt, I think.
I can only assume you stopped because you nearly died, as with all of your anecdotes.
I don't know what. I think I started swimming instead. I think actually I drowned and started swimming lessons after. That was because it was in the same leisure centre. So
how did I know it was about you nearly dying?
Because everything in my life is.
Because everything that your parents tried to get you to do, they were like, get your coat, he's nearly died again, we gotta go collect him.
Maybe he won't kill himself this time, Jesus.
He's gonna jump out with the fucking space. He's got ocean madness. We sent him to karate.
He's gonna fight the waves.
I think, no, if you start a fight, I was always told, kick to the kneecap.
Oh,
straight
very
away.
good. That'll do it. Make him unsteady. Get him on the ground.
Because if they're lighted up, you go straight, like, stamp down on that kneecap. Like, there's not too many people that's not going to snap.
It's the Róisín approach.
And then, at that point, they're lost.
Yeah.
Because they're going
on
for
the
the
ground,
head.
And you're, like, hitting them with a metal glove or some shit.
And I have a baseball bat.
Yeah, me and all my friends get the hammers.
Yeah, like, we're just hanging out. You know how it is with hammers. Just so happened they were walking past from the Home Depot.
Yeah.
Like, guys, come over.
Fellas, come test them out. Oh, Shaun, we got you one.
We're in a fight right now. The person's like knocked out.
He's like writing help me in his own blood.
They're being wheeled into the ambulance. I'm like, guys, we're in a fight right now. Go fuck him up.
Yeah, because you're on my side, right?
Yeah, we're friends, right? You wouldn't want to disappoint me. Yeah, so Shaun, I don't know if there's going to be hope for this couple. I can't understand whose story is true either. Like, that guy who was clearly hit by a car, was he hit by a car? Or maybe he's in the wrong for some reason.
I mean, look, there's a lot of evidence to say that she hit that man with her car. But likewise,
yeah,
there's a lot of evidence to say that he's a bastard and he deserved it.
I heard he murders people. That's what I'm hearing.
For fun, not for work like the rest of us.
Not because of the ocean madness. He's got no madness. He's just killing people.
The ocean madness, that's because of the hunger, Connor, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of karate, by the way, I do have a weird news story this week of a guy in Japan who is having some pretty big legal troubles going back 13 years. Right?
Right, so like 2011.
2011 this happened, Sean. I have Japan karate expert who broke the jaw of a haunted house ghost has lost another lawsuit.
Wait. So he got spooked, instinct took over, and he broke a man's jaw.
Yes. A karate expert in Japan who broke a haunted house worker's jaw with a kick in 2011 has lost his lawsuit against the amusement park again. So, the man who admitted to drinking before entering the haunted house in Kyoto Studio Park in 2011, he was travelling with his colleagues, had argued that the park should have warned visitors that humans acted as ghosts and it should have protected its staff better. So his defence is that they should have protected their staff better from his karate kicks.
So he must have thought it would just be like robots and stuff like that. That would be scaring him, but it was actual people.
Well, the karate expert was startled when a park worker dressed as a ghost, covered in just white makeup, stepped forward to frighten him. The man who has not been named, reflexes kicked in, Sean. Instinct took over.
And he went for a kick.
And he kicked the ghost in the face with such force broke their fucking jaw.
That's like, as a haunted house worker, you must be so used to just going wah to people.
And people being scared.
Yeah.
But you to go especially to your fucking job, you're clocking in 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Could have had a really bad day that day, but you still have to do it.
He's just finished lunch. He's coming back after we've got a 2:30 show and okay, alright, someone's coming through. Yeah. Fucking knock the fuck out.
Now here's my question, right? And I know what this man has said. He was like, I didn't know there'd be people and everything like that. But if I'm, say this guy's maybe 30, maybe, if he's a kung fu master. If I'm 30 years old, I'm out drinking with my work friends, and they don't know I'm a karate expert, and we go to a haunted house, and I think it's going to be fine. I'm responding with a kick on instinct as a performance so that they see how cool I am. If I had the ability to do that, that's how I would respond to 90% of things in my life.
So my question to you then is that you're saying he's in the right.
I'm saying he always intended to. I don't think anyone responds with a kick immediately.
He was walking through going, I got to kick the first thing I see.
Yeah, the first thing, presumably a robot, but he didn't know it was human. So I think, if he had known it was human, I think he would have dialed back on the kick.
So the worker filed a lawsuit seeking compensation, and the settlement was reached in 2015 when the karate expert agreed to pay 10 million yen or £52,000 in damages. He then countersued the theme park, arguing that they were responsible for the incident as well and should cover a portion of the damages that he had agreed to pay.
Right.
So, he said the park was negligent for not training staff in how to prevent an attack from a visitor.
I'd wager they didn't expect
fucking Bruce Lee to show up.
Yeah. What would have been a way cooler move is he spins around with the kick, but he stops an inch away from their face. To show he has that much control.
Yeah, he has the power. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of no ghosts.
No. And then all of his friends were like, wow, you're really cool. Have a promotion.
The court said that the man was being ridiculous and has through his fucking counter. Now he's appealed it several times, which is why it's now coming back up.
And he keeps losing.
He keeps losing. But the court recently said that the man's kick broke the worker's jaw, went beyond the scope of a reflexive action taken out of sheer fear, which is what you were saying.
Yeah, he wanted to show off how hard he could kick.
Yeah. They also said that nobody in the place dressed as a ghost had ever physically attacked anybody. So there was no need for any customer to use physical violence because the ghosts aren't allowed kind of touch you.
Yeah.
They just kind of say boo.
If you're paying into a haunted house, you know, like, and I guess you know you're not in danger, but you still feel the fear. But like, you don't just start swinging for people.
I think walk in with a steel chair. You gotta walk in stating dominance straight away.
That's a good move. Hammers. There's the other one.
Hammers. You and your pals bring a big bag of hammers. And you sort the place out.
There's no rules about not having hammers.
You can't tell us we're not allowed to hammer a few ghosts. You know what I mean?
That's the name of our quiz team. We hammer ghosts.
We hammer ghosts. So he's lost another appeal, Shaun. I don't think he's ever going to win, is the problem.
But okay, how could we get this man his bag? How could we get him? How could we prove?
So you're telling me, how do we figure out a way to get the guy who kicked the poor worker's face so hard that he broke their fucking jaw? How are we going to get him some money?
Yeah, we need to make the worker appear as a legitimate threat retroactively.
So we need to I've got it. We inject the worker with steroids quietly while they're asleep.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, I like it.
And then they're stocked up. We replace all their food with protein-based food and then maybe take their car away so they have to run to work. Right?
Yeah.
Give them jobs around the workplace. They have to lift heavy things. God, it's so tiring. They become 6'7" and also absolutely jacked.
Okay, so this is a long-term dose
I'm
of steroids.
I'm thinking more
years.
This could be years, yeah. And then at that point, we take it back to the court saying, Your Honour, look at the size of this man mountain. Of course I would be intimidated.
But we also need to like brainwash them to think they were always that big and threatening.
So we replace all their family photos of them on bodybuilding competitions.
Here's my thought. We need to discuss. Everyone has trauma in their life. We need to find out the main traumatic event in this worker's life.
It's so funny, by the way, that your solution to the problem is everyone has trauma. How can we use that?
How can we exploit this? So we need to make it appear as if our karate expert was the source of this person's trauma. Say, for example, his father was hit by a car. We need to plant a load of evidence in this guy's house that he was researching who hit his father with the car and make it look like it was someone who looked exactly like our karate master. So that in the darkness of the haunted house, he, is what we say to the judge, he assumed his father's vehicular killer had just walked into his place of work and then moved with intent to harm. He had intent.
He did. He definitely had intent. He had a knife somewhere. He was coming for us.
So, and then, now that we've exploited that trauma, this man can get his essentially 50 grand back.
Yeah. So you're saying that we basically plant a lot of information that the poor person with the broken jaw was actually out to harm the Kung Fu expert.
Now that I think about it, this might have been the most traumatic thing in this person's life.
So, yeah. Unless we set up a fake history instead for the karate guy, and we set it up that a ghost killed his dad.
Interesting.
So, and his dad died in a haunted house because a ghost killed him.
And he moved with intent.
So at that point, he seen the ghost. He went, oh no, this is just like how my dad died. I've been training for this.
And he thought he'd kick straight through that ghost, being that it's from the spirit plane.
He believes in ghosts. We need to convince the judge that he fully believed that it was a ghost.
He fully believed it was an actual ghost. And like, the reason he felt confident in kicking that hard is because he didn't have holy water on his shoes. He consciously didn't put that on them because then he knew he wouldn't harm a ghost. So he never meant to cause harm.
Your Honour. Mean on the law. Your Honour, we rest.
We rest our case.
Like we're outside the courtroom, we've already been thrown out. He now wants to pay $100,000 back.
Yeah, we've made it so much worse.
Sorry about that, man. We didn't see it going that way.
We're both chain smoking, but we don't know how to smoke, so we're just coughing up lungs outside of the
Sorry about that, man. Sorry. Sorry. I gotta take another slow drag, because you know me, I'm cool.
You have it backwards. You're lighting the filter.
He's just like looking between the two of us like, no wonder you guys were free.
Starts kicking us.
Don't mind me, my jaw is perfectly fine, good sir.
Thanks to these smooth Marlborough Reds.
I think that's it for this week's Weird News, Shaun.
What a week. Would you like me to take us out, Connor?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Heroes for Hire podcast. We will be back on Friday with an episode of Hero or Zero, and next week with another episode of the show. Big thank you to everyone over on Patreon, patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. Link to that is in the description. And big shout outs go to Róisín and Baby Ben Palmer, Joe Burney, Ryan Komatsu, Dozer Enthusiast, Evanson, Waffles the Quantum Immortal, David Clarke, Shaun Chuck in the Wash and It'll Be Grand Jamieson, Dominic, Anna looks forward to the next Irish animal story, Hjelmroos, Danny McLaughlin, Lordsmish, Michelle Browne, Michaela Doughty, Frost, Gambit's Cajun accent #1 defender, Ed Ball, Conor and Lorraine will only accept MCU Galactus in Paul Mescal GAA shorts, Russ, a big thanks to Shaun for ruining all future breakfasts with your testicle-shaped weetabix rating-Parfitt, Jackson Brueheim will be attending Shaun's upcoming gum eating intervention, Liv's had a few too many on St. Paddy's Day and tipsily subscribe to the Patreon, Ciara Lawler, Judge Lahey, The Amazing World of Keza, Mikey, Chair's #1 fan, Fuck the Heckler, Kyle Borowski, Rory, Peter Bobiter, Banana Fan of Foeater, Fee5 Foameter, Peter, Jack Markham, Barlow Cheese, Johnny Ray and Hunter Harvard. Thank you all for your support. We could not continue to make the show without all of you, so we really, really appreciate it. Head on over there if you want to support the show and get access to the movie reviews and things like that. There is also the merch store, heroesforhire.ie/shop. Twitter's @HeroesForHirePod, the 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just a one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Conor Lorraine.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
I shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.